Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, we are a minimalist family of 7 and we are living big with less. And today I'm going to hit you up with 10 of my favorite money saving tips. If you are looking to get out of debt or if you're on a tight budget, stick around. Guys, today I'm going to hit you up with 10 of my favorite money saving tips. Now, some of these I'm sure you've heard of before and not all of them will apply to everyone. So please take what you like and leave what you don't. But these are some of my favorite little tips and tricks that can save you money without using a whole heap of effort. So I'm going to kick off with my first one, which is making your own detangling spray. So I have 3 girls. I also have 2 boys which also use detangling spray, but mostly it's for my 3 girls and we go through a lot. We have 2 of my girls have very, very curly hair. I make my own detangling spray and it is the easiest thing ever. I just fill this up almost all the way with warm water and then I give it 2 squirts of conditioner. I don't know how much it is exactly, maybe like 2 teaspoons. Anyway, I shake it up. It works a charm. It leaves their curls nicely intact. It gets rid of any knots without any crying. It is the best thing. I make at least one of these a week because we got a lot of hair here. And I even use it on my hair. It's great. It works out at like cents to make the bottle. I had a look today when I was at the grocery store. It was like over $3 for a small spray bottle of detangling spray. That is crazy. This works really well, super cheap, you won't regret it. This second tip is also if you have kids, this is going to be a good one. Probably if you're in a house of just adults, hopefully you don't have this problem. But in my house, my kids can use way more toilet paper than is necessary. We also have a toddler who, left to his own devices, will unravel a whole roll of toilet paper before you can say Bob's your uncle. So this little tip, I don't know who taught it to me, but it was the best thing ever, is that you squeeze the toilet roll so it's almost like it's in half. And once you put it on, and then in order for you to unroll it, it takes a little bit more effort. So if you just pull on it, it's only going to come down a slight amount. It's not going to roll off and give you like half the roll of toilet paper in one go. This has like halved my toilet paper usage. And I'm sorry, I do it automatically. So if you're one of my friends and I come to visit you, I've probably accidentally done it to you because every time I sit on the toilet, I squeeze the toilet paper so that my kids don't go through the whole roll. It's amazing. So my third tip is to water down your hand soap, particularly if you're using a foaming hand soap, but I have done it with all of my hand soaps ever, but foaming hand soap is particularly the bee's knees. So all you do is when you're going to refill your soap, just fill it halfway with the foam refill soap, and then fill the rest with water. Don't shake it, but just like gently rock it up and down, and then the whole thing will mix together. No one will ever know. You're going to double the amount that your refill lasts. It's better for the environment because there's less plastic. It's awesome. No one will know the difference and you're saving half the money. If you guys have watched any of my cleaning videos, which I'll link up here, you would know that I love vinegar and water. It is what I use off the bat. So if my kids are cleaning something, if I'm cleaning something, I'm gonna start out with just vinegar and water. I use it for my mirrors, I use it for my windows, which I have a lot of, and it works really, really well. Now, of course, there's gonna be messes that this is not gonna cut the mustard, but if you start with this, I'm always surprised at how many messes this can do on its own. And then if I need to get something a little bit stronger, then I will. But 9 times out of 10, vinegar and water never lets me down. I just used an old multi-purpose cleaner bottle. I just took the label off and I fill it half with vinegar, half with water. I do make another one which I put a few squirts of detergent in as well, just for like any greasy sort of messes. But the great thing about this is if you're gonna get your kids to clean, you know that even if they were like to spray this in their mouth, which you're like, why kid would you spray that in your mouth? They will. If you are giving it to your kids, it's completely safe for them to use because you can drink vinegar, it wouldn't taste very nice, they probably won't do it again, but it works a charm. If you haven't tried it yet, do it. So my 5th tip is, guys, is to change your container if anything has a super wide mouth. So for example, my favorite fabric softener comes in a container where the mouth is super wide. So every time I'm using it, I'm sort of just guessing and a huge amount is coming out in one go. So what I did is I moved my liquid fabric softener into just a old soap dispenser bottle, and then I can squeeze it in. I know exactly how much I'm putting in. I'm in control and I'm not wasting a huge amount. This same principle works with anything with a wide mouth. So for example, this is what I keep my dishwashing liquid in, and I move it from the cheapo use half a bottle per squirt bottle into this concentrated bottle because it gives out a smaller amount, and I reckon I use at least a third, if not more, less detergent using it in this bottle. The same goes for this maple syrup. This is not 100% maple syrup bottle. It is like the maple flavored syrup. But what I do is I buy the real maple syrup, which comes with the most giant opening you've ever seen. So when my kids pour it on pancakes, there's like, you know, a pool of swimming maple syrup with the pancake floating on top. Whereas with this bottle, I can control how much is open. They can squirt a small amount onto their pancake or their waffle. It's real maple syrup. I just put it in this bottle, and then they're not creating the lava maple syrup lake. So that tip will work for anything you've got that's got a huge opening that you don't want to use that much, like a sauce bottle, anything like that. Move it into a bottle that you can restrict the flow, and you will use half as much, if not less. I love it, it's perfect. So my 6th tip is about leftovers. Now, we all know that leftovers are a fantastic way to save money. However, in my house, what would sometimes happen is either A, my husband or myself or whoever was going to eat the leftovers didn't feel like the leftovers the next day because we just had them last night, or something happened, we ended up going out, we forgot they were there. So now I just have this blanket rule where I put all the leftovers straight in the freezer. That way I don't have to worry about using them straight away. If my husband or myself actually do want it the next day, it's fine. We just either pull it out and then reheat it, or reheat it in the microwave, and it is a goer. But then we're not wasting food, we're not throwing away food that we didn't use. I'm not paranoid about food being wasted, so it all goes in the freezer and then I don't have to worry about it. So my 7th tip is I color my own hair. So obviously I am a brunette, I am not a blonde, and I dye my hair, my natural hair color, which is just dark brown. So I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel, and I know that if you are going blonde or if you go a color that's completely different to your natural color, you should definitely go to the professionals. But for me, all I'm doing is covering up the grays and giving my hair a real boost of color. So I just color it myself. It costs me like $7 a box. I do it every couple of weeks. Not only that is I don't have a lot of time to go and sit in a salon. It sounds blissful, but because I don't have the time because of my husband's work and all of our commitments, it actually works out really well for me to be able to just do it at home in my pajamas, wash it out, and it works really, really well. So if you haven't tried dyeing your own hair, it's awesome. This next tip is a little strange, but bear with me. Now, it is keep a set of plastic cups in your car. Now, this has saved my bum so many times. I use them for if we get like a big bottle of water, I can, instead of buying like, you know, 5 or 6 tiny bottles of water that's going to cost me a fortune. I could buy one big bottle of cold water if I've accidentally forgotten to get it from home, and then I can share it out between the kids, and it's great. Or if we decide to get them a special drink, I can buy the big bottle, which is like half the price of buying small ones, and then they can all have their own cup, and it works great. But it also works for things like if we get a big packet of like potato chips or pretzels or something like that. If we go to the grocery store or from like a service station, we can open them up, and then I can give them to them in the back of the car or at the playground in their own cup, and it works really well for dividing it up between them. I also use it if we forget our beach toys. They make great sandcastle makers or shovels or whatever we need. You can also use them to like fill up with water if you need to wash feet or wash someone's if they've hurt themselves. There's just like a million uses for them. It means that I'm not going out and spending crazy amounts of money on individual drinks or beach toys or any of those things. It's so simple, and I just keep them in my car and saves me money. So my 9th tip for you is to pack your own drinks if possible. So particularly for my husband and I, if we were to go out for a walk on the beach or take the kids to a park, we used to buy a coffee, and that doesn't sound like a lot of money, and it probably isn't that much, and you should certainly splurge every once in a while. But my husband and I learned a long time ago that a thermos of our own coffee or a keep cup that if you're just going to somewhere close by is a great alternative, especially for me, because I take my coffee with rice milk and nobody sells coffee with rice milk. So I get it my way, it's my coffee. It costs me like 10 cents instead of $3. If we're going for a whole day, I make it up in the flask ready to go. So I'll put the coffee in, I'll put our rice milk in, and we just pour it out and have a coffee wherever we are. It saves us heaps of money. It stays warm all day as long as you preheat it before you put the coffee in. But my husband also, you know, if we are going out and we feel like a cold drink, it's way cheaper for us to take a $2 bottle of kombucha from home than to buy it from the cafe where they're going to charge us like $6.50. So if possible, taking your drinks from home, go to the beautiful park, the beach, wherever you're going, have a great time, still have your awesome coffee, but just bring it from home. Now my 10th tip is my absolute favorite, and it literally saves us hundreds of dollars every year, and that is I cut everybody's hair except for my own. So I have done this for years. If you're new to it, there are heaps of YouTube videos that can teach you what to do. I cut all the boys' hair really regularly, so like every say 4 to 6 weeks. I give the girls a trim probably every 3 to 6 months because they have long hair. It really just needs the split ends cut off. But if you think about it, in our area, you're looking at $20 to $30 for a haircut. There is 6 of them. It is a lot of money that we are saving by me doing it. If you've never done it before, I would highly suggest doing it a short amount of time after they've had a haircut. So if they've had a haircut, say 6 weeks ago, you're going to be able to still follow the same lines of the hair from where they cut it last time. So it is, once you've done it a few times, it's so easy. You really can't go too far wrong. And like I heard somebody say that the only difference between a good haircut and a bad haircut is about 4 weeks. So what's the worst that can happen? I do get my hair cut at the hairdresser. I go to a very reasonably priced hairdresser, and I actually push it out to at least 12 weeks between cuts. If you have long hair, you could definitely push it way longer. I have short hair, and so they would probably suggest every 6 to 8 weeks. So I push it out that little bit longer. I'll like twist it back or pull it half up, half down for a few weeks till I get it cut again. And over the course of a year, obviously that means I'm having like 2 or 3 haircuts less because I'm going less often. So guys, I hope you found a good tip here today, and I would love to hear from you. It's my favorite thing in the world to hear from you in the comments. So please let me know what your favorite money saving tips are. If you're new here, we would love to have you stick around and subscribe. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and we'll catch you in the next one.